I want to officially welcome you, and I know people will be joining us as we continue on. We are recording this, so you will get a recording of this as well. And feel free to share it because this webinar is not a sales pitch. We're not trying to sell anybody anything. This is coming from pure passion. Dr. Heather's passion for what she does and my passion for what it's done for me. So if you could kindly just mute, and then when you have a question, you can ask questions in the chat, and this will be interactive as well. An official welcome to everybody. And this is the Transform Your Health with Quantum Medicine webinar. And I am so thrilled that you are sharing your Sunday with us. I just really want to start by saying congratulations, because you've already taken the most important step towards transforming your health and improving your vitality. You have a curiosity around what this is. You've seen just enough to want to learn more. So congratulations for showing up. I applaud you for that today, and for saying yes to your well-being, to wanting more energy. And I guarantee you, your future self is thanking you right now. And that is something to celebrate. So I want to set the tone for our time together here. This is a safe space for sharing, for asking questions, for growing. So take a deep breath. This is your time. Let everything go. Be present in the moment, and we invite love to join us in this space as we all aim to be healthier versions of ourselves. This is your time, and any time you spend developing or improving your personal power, that is sacred time. So let's treat it as such. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Angel. I am a transformational coach. I'm an author. I've written several books on the personal transformation process. I help people navigate change so they transform into a greater version of themselves. I am also the host of my own podcast titled The Transform with Angel Show. And today we'll be sharing my personal success story with quantum medicine. But more importantly, we'll be sharing the magic behind quantum healing. So let me tell you a little bit about my co-host today and our special guest, Dr. Heather Marchand. See, I did have 4 years of French, Dr. Heather. So I've got a little bit of that nasal.
Very good.
So Dr. Heather is a board-certified director of natural medicine and quantum medicine practitioner. She specializes in helping people identify and clear energetic imbalances that lead to physical, emotional, and mental health challenges. Using advanced bioresonance technology and homeopathic frequencies that restore the body's natural rhythm. Those are a lot of new words for me that I am just now learning about, and she's about to explain all of this. Her work bridges the gap between modern science and ancient wisdom, empowering people to activate their body's innate intelligence to heal itself. Yes, our bodies have the wisdom to heal itself. So Dr. Heather, thank you for being here and for bringing this revolutionary work to the world.
My pleasure.
I'm so excited for everyone to experience what you have today. I don't know how many of you have heard the podcast that Dr. Heather was one of my special guests. We'll tell the story real quick. Dr. Heather reached out to me, I think it was on LinkedIn, and said, I would love to be a guest on your podcast. I talk about quantum medicine. I'm like, now I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I understand the quantum field and all that. So you had me at quantum. Like, quantum what? I'm like, yeah, let's chat about this. And the more I learned about it, and she's like, well, let me do a scan for you. Send me a couple strands of your hair and I'll show you how it all works. I'm like, okay, interesting. We did just that. And then we revealed my results on a podcast live in real time. That was the first time I saw the results of my bioresonance scan, was when we were interacting on the part 1 podcast. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to go check that out. It was really interesting. The scan pulled up all kinds of stuff, issues I've already known about, and also issues I was not aware of the imbalances in my body. It also highlighted a lot of toxicity in my body that I was in the process, or am in the process of clearing out, things like mold, environmental toxins. And I thought I was pretty much at the end of that journey, but apparently I wasn't. So it was highly revealing, and it was definitely a wake up call for me. And then from that point, after Dr. Heather could see what my body was asking for to help balance it out, she then did what? I'm going to have you fill in what you did. What was your part at this point?
Well, it was really kind of just being a detective. I mean, we had run the programs to figure out what your toxins were, what energy blockages you had in your different systems and organs of the body. And then from that, it was actually your electrical computer that told us exactly what it wanted. If it wanted meridian balance, if it wanted homeopathic, if it wanted an herb. It's really the innate intelligence telling us what you need to balance all that out. And then I imprint that exact data into a custom electronic patch for you. And I put it in tinfoil and then I mail it off. And the tinfoil protects it from anybody else touching it. And then she got it and she put it on, and the body absorbs those frequencies instead of me giving a pill, potion, or a lotion like I have for 20 years based on a lab result or a fancy Dutch test that costs a lot of money. Um, it was um, it was custom for you, and I knew your body was going to get those frequencies because you absorb them through the skin versus if you're taking them orally. I'm not guaranteed that A, you can digest them, and B, you can get them to a cellular level activated to be used. So that changed the game for me and why I chose to do this work.
Yes. And what was so interesting when I got the patches, there were 3 of them, and you can put them anywhere on your body underneath where you wear your clothes. And 2 of them went off probably 2 or 3 days later, but one of them stayed on 3 weeks. Now that's showering, sweating, swimming. And so whatever pat was in that patch, it really needed to do some work. And I had some pretty severe, I would say, health concerns, diverticulitis being one of them, knowing that I had to watch what I ate and making sure my, digestive system was normal, balanced, and very careful with that. That showed up in the first scan. And then
And you'd been working on that for actually years, I believe you told me, on detoxing, trying to get those symptoms balanced with different holistic sort of work.
oh, yeah, spent thousands of dollars on holistic doctors, supplements, you name it, blood work. Oh my gosh, the
Because I
thousands of,
remember you telling me, you're going to check my toxins. Well, I've been on a detox for a while. It's probably okay. And I'm
yeah,
like, it's not okay.
I
You're
know.
like, really? I'm like, yeah, really.
Yes. And what has been also revealed is that if I am as toxic as I am, after all the work I've been doing to detox over the past 3 years, I have to believe that most of our society is equally toxic. Now, I was exposed to mold, and not everybody is, so that was a big part of the toxicity in my body. But the environmental toxins, that's all of us. So this is really important. And even though I thought I was doing everything right, this is really what accelerated my detox journey. and journey into wellness. It's been a couple months. I feel fantastic. We did have a follow-up podcast, part 2, where we reveal the 6-week scan follow-up. What was interesting is nothing in my colon showed up. Diverticulitis didn't show up. It was healed. I mean, I actually went to the movie theater, had a bag of popcorn. I've been eating granola on my yogurt again, and there are no issues. So that's been totally balanced out. And I can tell, you can kind of tell. I'm not going to go into graphic details on that, but when things are working right, I know that my body is absolutely healing and I can see it in my skin. The aging spots are fading, the lines are fading, my skin feels healthier. So if I can see it on this organ, I can only imagine what it's doing inside my body. So this has been quite a journey for me. I am not finished by any stretch of the means. I know I still have a little ways to go. I really wanted to share this with as many people as possible because I know what it's doing for me so far. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Heather, so that you can share a little bit about the device and the methodology and the magic that you do for people every day.
Well, welcome everybody. I am beyond happy and excited to share this because it's changed my life. Like I had mentioned, for 20 years, I had been doing things the way we're trained, and lab tests and fancy tests and the book and nutrition. And not only was I utilizing that in practice, I was actually utilizing it, of course, on myself. I do have a set of rare diseases, um, and I have a unique story as well as being really, really, really sick. I know what it's like to be at death's door. I know what that is. Um, and I know what it's also like then to have serious infections that you need antibiotics every day through an IV because they don't know why your heart is doing what it's doing. But we'll do open heart surgery. That's your only solution. You're going to be in here every 6 weeks, not able to breathe. And that's when I told the doctor, get out of my room. You're not cutting my girls apart. I'm 30. Are you kidding me? And you don't even know what's happening. You lost your mind. And then the deadly infectious disease, they told me when they were, digging out the boils on my skin of dire pain, they were saying, you have to keep coming back. You have to keep taking these antibiotics. I said, I'm never coming back here again. And the doctor said, this will kill you. And I said, mm-hmm. And at that time, of course, my mom, she was digging into it, working with me with essential oils and pH water, which I recommend all of you read the pH Miracle book. If you can change one thing in your life, it's your water. Most of our body, as we know, is made up of water. And the pH, if you get it between 8.5 and 9.5, and if you've had cancer, you want it over 9.5, that is an antioxidant. And we all know when you bite into an apple and you leave it there, it turns brown. It oxidizes. And as we get older, all of our cells oxidize, which is why the anti-aging regimes and try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. But I was literally just surviving. And then I had colleagues doing different bioenergetic scanning work. And that's how I was introduced it to well over a decade ago. And I mind you, this is a cell. This is a photo of a cell. And everything is spinning and everything is moving. Your body's nothing but electrical conduction. Everything's electrical. And just like you take your car into the mechanic and they hook it up to a scanner and they say, okay, yep, this needs to be repaired. The scanner says what needs to be repaired. Your body's really no different. And your innate intelligence and your computer system knows, it knows. And part of this machine is sending out the signals to see where the frequency isn't traveling, and your body can respond to the data. So really, energy is everything. It means everything. There's chaotic frequencies and there's weak ones, and then there's distorted ones. So energy is medicine. It's based on the principle we're not just molecules and chemicals. Like I just showed you, every one of your cells looks like that. And this technology is based, the quantum physics principle is based on the creation of the MRI machine. And the same principle is the MRI machine was created with the fact that how can we get these cells to stop moving so I can take a picture? And let's flash a magnet at it. And they realized the actual magnet and the magnitude of the magnet was greater than the Earth's magnet. And that's how it got your cells to stop spinning so they could take a picture. Where my technology is the fact that I read your magnet. I'm not flashing a magnet. I'm reading your magnet. I'm seeing what's spinning, what's blocked, what's not. And then we know everything vibrates at a specific frequency. Chinese medicine dictated that 5,000 years ago. Every organ has a different frequency. So we know that, and we now accept that today. And even medicine is starting to utilize some of that during transplants, organ transplants. And they have great success with decreasing the rejection of the organ. So it's coming. And even in breast cancer now, there's some great research where they take the tumor and they look at the frequency of what's in the tumor. The virus, the bacteria, the funguses are a big one right now. And your body was smart enough to encompass all of that. And then they extract that. And then they give that frequency back in for radiation. And so it's isotropic medicine. It kills it and it magnets it and shuts it off, and out it goes. And so when we create these remedies and we find out exactly where your blockages are in the body while you're holding this, or you send me a hair sample and I attach it into this testing unit, then that's really when we get the data. And so, how can I use a hair sample? Well, that's your DNA. Nobody else has that. And every one of your cells vibrates at that. It's just a mathematical frequency. A lot of us heard about the frequency of COVID, and it wasn't existent in nature. And so that's becoming more well known. And there's some other diseases now that are like that. But this is your specific only to you. And so I like to tell people that it's kind of like it's your DNA cell phone, right? Every one of your cells vibrates at that. It's unique to you. So when we're testing live. I'm sharing my computer, which will pick one of you to vet, and then we're testing you live. And so you see what's going on. We videotape it. And then at the end, I send you the report. You get the video, and then of course you get your custom remedy in the mail. This is really the wave of the future. It really is. Our body can be reattuned to itself, kind of like you're always updating your cell phone. You can update the bioelectrics of your own computer. And I think that's where the power comes in. And then you're not getting something generic. You're getting something specifically that your body has asked for in a certain way. And this isn't a hokey pokey system. It's a class med 2 device, within the system in the United States. So it's something for me that's changed my life from really just from surviving to thriving. And now, my doctors here are like, what are you doing? Because most people that have what I have are on disability. And I tell everybody, be very careful how you set up your medical team. You need a team. And so you know exactly who to call on. You need your emergencies. You need your everyday blood work doctor team. And then you need a team of people that can really connect in and scan your body and see what's going on, or naturopathy, or however you work with your energy medicine team. But you need all three spectrums of that team. And so this really empowered me to know, who do I need in my team right now? And so that's where my empowerment came in personally. I know what I'm feeling. I'm tired of people testing me off of a blood number and treating me based on a book. And then I know when I need to go to the ER. So be very careful how you create your team. And now there's all these different things to empower you, whether you have a chronic illness. This also works with some emotional imbalances, which Joe Dispenza and the medical field has really adapted, because we know it changes our neurochemicals, certain emotions. And this is really a huge buzzword these days. Seasonal allergies is something I've lived with since I've been 12, like severely. And this last year, asked me if I took one allergy pill. I did not. So talk about empowerment. I mean, come on. And the detox support, the amount of toxins we're exposed with these days, from the pesticides, the plastics, the man-made viruses, call it whatever you want to call it. I don't think our body was ever designed to deal with that stuff. And I tell you, 85% of my patients aren't effectively detoxing like we're supposed to every day. Think about if you didn't clean your house constantly, right? Every day you didn't clean one thing. And you've got three big cleaners in the body: your liver, kidneys, and lymphatic. And so I think some of these big things that we're exposed to are just blocking everything. And that's where I think we get real irregular cells and tumors. But that's my personal opinion. I'm not a medical doctor and I do not treat disease. I just know what my case has been, and it's a little bit different. And so I have a lot of fun with patients, empowering them, watching them. I had a patient in March. She said, I want to make it to my daughter's wedding in June, and they tell me I'm not going to live past May. And I was like, first of all, that should be illegal. And second of all, I don't treat cancer, but let me have a look. And she had mycoplasma, mycobacteria, and mold everywhere within her. And I was like, what has happened to you? Where have you lived? And she's like, oh, yeah, we had a black mold infected house when we lived in South Carolina. Before we moved to Colorado, I got really sick. And I'm like, and your body is saying it's got Lyme bacteria. She's like, yeah, I got diagnosed with Lyme disease. And so it was like, boom, boom, boom. And we just, again, I gave her what her body asked for. I sent it to her, and she was still alive at the end of May. 2 months later, I do it again, send it to her, and she's not coming up with all that fungus again. She's not. Her body's gone to the next layer of the onion. And then from that, I just talked to her last week, and she's doing really well. So, you can be driven because you have a condition, or you can be driven to taking care of yourself in a wellness spectrum, a different way, by doing your own bio updates, which is what I like to think now is the stage I'm at, because I've done all the work before. And so quarterly updates are all I need. So that's my story. And that's really why I was like, I have to have this in my practice. I have to share this with people. If it's impacted me in my life and my journey that much, how can I help other people? And from that, I'm just divinely driven, and I just play detective and figure out what's going on. So that's what I do. So people send me hair samples. I work 95% all around the world, maybe 5% are in person in my office. And and we're connected and they have access to me and dietary changes as well as specific other things their bodies ask for. And then we do the work and their body does the magic.
It does work like magic, I have to say. What's really fascinating to me is the report that you provide. If you watch our podcast that we did on YouTube, you'll see Dr. Heather actually going through the results and what it looks like if you choose to do this. It is so detailed and it explains and it defines everything. It was what, like 12 pages? I mean, it was comprehensive. And when you provided me the emotional results, that was really shocking. How our emotions really get stuck in our DNA and it becomes a part of us. I had anger show up in in my scan. I'm like, anger. I'm like, I don't see myself as an angry person. Where's
I
this?
remember you saying that to me, and
I
I'm
know.
like,
I'm like,
you
wow,
don't
that's
have to
shocking.
explain it to me. I'm just telling you what your body's
I know.
saying.
I'm like, what? That's wrong. But then I was doing meditation, and all of a sudden I just started crying, like this release. And this was while I was on the protocol. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I'm all sobbing. And I realized that that anger was like from a previous life. And it just had nothing to do with even this lifetime. That was my sense and it was truth. And I just kind of kept letting it out. So when you're doing this, if you choose to do this, you will have some responses and reactions that you may not understand, but it's your body absolutely releasing what it no longer needs or wants and recalibrating, itself. So it's been a fascinating experience, and I have to say that emotional aspect was super, super fascinating. But I would like to open it up for questions at this point. I will, at the end, after all our questions have been answered, I have a little gift for you. I will take you through the process of transformation. This is what I do with my coaching clients, through my courses, through my books and everything. So it's just some tools to help you transform not only your health, but anything else that you might be going through in life. This is a natural cycle that I'm going to gift you with here at the end of our time together. But let's go ahead and pause for a moment and open it up for questions for Dr. Heather.
This is your time to talk, so you can unmute yourself
Yes, exactly.
and ask me anything your questions you have about you or this new world of maybe something you hadn't heard about, quantum medicine, quantum energetics. Don't be afraid.
There is a shift as composing your questions, ladies. I will say there's a shift that we all go through because we have been so attuned, I'm going to say programmed, because it's the healthcare system that we've been raised in for traditional medicine. You go to the doctor, he or she gives you a pill to take care of that symptom, and then that's traditionally how we've treated our illnesses. And very rarely do we get to a root cause. That's one thing I do love about this. It helps us really dive deep into the root cause. So,
So who has a question for me? Come on, Paula. I know you have a question. You're that type of gal.
I am.
You
Well,
are.
it's just absolutely fascinating, first off. I mean, I go to the doctor so in the last year and a half because of being diagnosed with breast cancer. I had a D-flap surgery and reconstruction with that. And it's definitely changed my personality, how I look at myself because of medicines. I don't know how many MRIs, CT scans, um, the Nestrozol medicine that I'm on. eh, I've just, it's not fixing me. I can tell you that. I have lost a lot of my spunk because I am a spunky gal, but not as much lately. Um, I just want to quit it all, you know. Um, I go to Dr. Max Waddell, as you know him. He tells me, don't go get that cortisone shot for your hip or whatever. You come see me and let's do it naturally. You can just put a band-aid on it, you know. But let's do it through exercise and all that. And I believe that. And I have not gone to go get those extra shots on because I'm like, I've got enough medicine in my body right now. And I just don't want to be on any of it, honestly. So, I'm extremely interested in getting healthy again, feeling that energy surge that I always had, and not feeling tired 2 or 3 times a day. And I want my spunk back. Can you help me?
Well, does anybody else have any comments or questions? I'd like to do a live demo.
Yes. Sorry, I'm
Go
going to
ahead, Becky.
overshare here. My hands are so cold, I could not unmute. I've been trying to unmute for like 10 minutes.
Oh,
Sorry.
So
I
do you
ended
have
up
a
having to go for
question
a walk
then?
while we're talking. I do. Tell me where you're located again, Dr. Heather.
I'm right outside of Paris, France.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Okay,
she's
very
from the
good.
Midwest, like us.
Yes.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good. I understood how you do, I understand the whole hair sample and all of that. But then what are you using to analyze it? It's some type of program
Yes.
that you've purchased, you've acquired. I mean, how did that come about? Like, is it just, I'm just a
Yes.
little more curious about that.
That's a great question. I meant to mention in the 50s, there was a gentleman Dr. Rife, he's the one that made the electron microscope. And he realized he was at first his job, he was in the medical field, he was a biologist, an MD, but he worked in the lab and he created this microscope. And he worked in the cancer part. So he would get the tumors and he would extract what's in them, see the cellular makeup, and that's when he began his data, and he's got a book about this big, and it's called Rife Frequencies, and he made all these
Leave him.
frequencies from his cancer research, Dr. Rife. And so this his his microscope kind of vanished, and then his books started to go away, but somebody else had his books and all his data. And so that's where we didn't have the internet back then. And so they were trying to keep a lid on him and his breakthroughs. So that's why back then it was like that. But the it's been blown apart. Nobody's ever forgot about Dr. Rife. He has a lot of write-ups. He's got a lot of information. His book has been published, so you can get your hands on that. It's quite the ordeal. But then the equipment of testing the body, like I had said, it's the same principle as what created the MRI, except we're testing your magnet. And so the device is up there on your screen. And so that's the device I use for testing. And then I utilize the same thing and reverse the software and
Gotcha.
then
Okay.
create the patch. But yeah, you're right. That name Kess on the bottom right is part of a massive software company in the States. There are many different forms of bioenergetic testing. This is the most comprehensive one that I found. And my colleagues were using. And if you're using it in your medical office, it has to be registered with the FDA, because
Gotcha.
we cannot
Yes,
have.
that made sense when you said it was a type 2 medical device. So, okay, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for explaining that.
So that's what I loved about it, that the detail, and in fact, can Paula, may I choose you
You may.
to run a quick toxin profile on you?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen.
Did you get my hair sample?
No,
Okay.
but let me explain
Okay.
how I'm doing this. So I'm going to put your name in here. And I don't have your hair sample, but,
Okay.
and what's your birthday?
6/30/63.
You're probably the only one that has that name and that hair sample. So this is a little far out for some people, but follow me here.
Sure.
Have you ever thought about somebody and then they call you
Absolutely all the time.
and you're like, that was really weird. What is
You're one
that?
of them.
I'm one of them.
Yes.
Have that weird effect on people. And this is that. I've worked with my dad after heart surgery when they couldn't figure out what was going on with him. And we
Mhm.
figured it out and he stabilized. And last week I had an emergency patient in the ICU in Italy. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. He was actually intubated. And I had his data and I was on the phone with him, like this. And we figured out what it was. And he's awake. He's off of the ICU. He's up and he's walking. They still don't know what happened. So call it what you want. I think it could be let's just call it the miracle of life. We don't know everything, do we? We learn
No.
stuff every day. So I'm just running a toxic profile on you. So right here is the 18 major systems of your body.
Mhm.
Green means there's nothing, your body's not responding. Red means your body has a high frequency response. And yellow is an intermittent, medium, you could call it.
Mhm.
So you can see all the data's on the right that it's going through and checking. Heavy metals, you'll see different pesticides. And so I'm holding device. I see you. I put your name. I put your birth date in it. Now, I utilize hair samples because it's easier to explain and it's just as valid if I don't have one. And then I'll explain to you.
Okay.
Now, in my toxin list, I
Mhm.
also put in mental and emotional because we get a buildup of emotional toxins as well. And you don't need to talk about these, just as Angel didn't need to talk about when anger came out. Yours is resentment.
Ooh. Hmm. I don't, as Angel said, I don't feel resentful for anything.
The minute I read that, I thought about your cancer
Oh,
and
yeah, twice.
resenting the fact that you had to go through that, and twice.
Yes.
And so you see all the details here: heavy metal toxins, the load of viral toxins, vaccine toxins. Let's not kid ourselves. I put in here the nanotechnology toxins because that's part of the spike protein stuff you hear from COVID and from that vaccine, as well as all those venoms under there. We're in the vaccine, but even people that haven't had the vaccine are showing up with these venoms. And I
Not
don't
had
know
flu
if it's in the
vaccine.
food system or what, or if I have no idea. So there's some things I don't understand, but those venoms they kill people. That's the part of the animal's defense. And so your body doesn't work with those. It doesn't help your immune system. You have PBBs.
That's plastics, right?
Yeah. Which a lot of us have. A lot of us have phthalates. Your bacteria toxin level is a 10 out of a 10.
Oh,
So that's something I would be tracking, and I would probably be going in and doing a little bit more detective work on the backside to figure out some more about that. Blood sugar, you need a stabilizer for your blood sugar. But if you're also on different hormones and have been on different steroids, that affects the
and
blood sugar.
and of
Hands.
course, ammonia shot, flu shot, all these shots that they said that I need to take.
Well, I stopped vaccinating even for the flu in my
Mhm.
late 20s. And
Oh,
I'm 59 today. I haven't
mhm.
had a vaccine, but this stuff is still showing up in my system.
Mm.
So
I just
that's what's
recently had
really
both of
scary. I
them.
didn't do any vaccines during
Mhm.
COVID. I was one of those outcasts. But I guess it stays in our bodies for a long time.
Wow. Yeah, I've had all of those because my husband has a CIDP, which is a low immune system. So I do it to protect him somehow. Not wanting to get sick to pass it to him because he does have such a low immune system.
So on your toxic scan, there's different areas that these are the basic 18 systems. Now,
Okay.
I did not do a comprehensive scan on you. I just looked at your toxins and where your body's got those stored. Again, green means nothing. Red is a high response that your body responded to. And yellow is an intermediate. So one being your limbic system, and you can see the whole description of that and how the brain and deals with emotions, memories. And so that's why some people change after they've had a lot of chemo and different medicines. Another one is in your lungs. Another one is your reproductive organs, and then your spleen also responded. So the spleen makes sense as well because that is really our reservoir. The spleen, we call that our immune body system. And then with whatever list your body just responded to, your post analysis is green. That means I don't need to go in right now and do detective work and figure out how to make this green.
See?
Otherwise, these would come over and carry as red or yellow. So, first of all, you have inhaled allergy toxins. Your body wants a gentle drainage system. I didn't decide that, and I certainly myself didn't decide what that would be. And it's for connective tissue and elimination of organs. And that's for relief of fatigue, nervous irritability, water retention, or any of these can be your specific symptoms. But gentle drainage is just gently moving the lymphatic. Because if I would move the lymphatic with you hardcore, if I decided I'm going to do this, knowing your background, make you very, very sick.
Ooh.
Now, your lungs are coming up here,
Yeah,
along
they've
with,
come up a few times and even CT scans.
yeah. So this is something pretty important. You have inhaled allergy toxins. You have lung support, and your body's asking for a specific balance here, dealing with the healthy function of the liver, the blood, the spleen, and the digestion to harmonize those things. Well, if you look at what you've been through and you've looked at the chemo you've taken, your body's had to work pretty hard.
Mhm.
So this is where when I get into working with current cancer patients or, you know, survivors on the back end, either on the hormone suppression or not, that I really work in what are the toxins, right? Because we need to
Mhm.
balance your toxic load because your house hasn't been cleaning. And in fact, it's been getting dirtier and dirtier and dirtier with the chemicals. And then the lung support is something, those make sense for the last three. PBBs, the mental emotional piece of it. And you can read all about that. So you would get this report essentially, and you're probably deepest spiritual core, and the essence of tranquility that's pulling back layers to probably rebalance your core from being so hammered twice with this sort of situation and how it
Mhm.
shook you to the core. So your body wants to put that back together. Nicotine toxins that can be just from working around smoke because we don't have a filter. Everybody else smoking has the filter. Blood sugar nutrient stabilizers. The body specifically picked this one with rose hips, bone marrow, magnesium, vitamin K, different brain factors, niacin, potassium. So it really is very detailed and very specific and repatterning new cells with the right frequency. Allard drain,
Mhm.
again, it's about, and this came up on me a lot when I was first trying to dig out these allergies. And it's about, again, we're draining, we're cleaning, we're desensitizing. Conditions could be rash, headache, fatigue, vertigo, but it's about cleaning and supporting the pancreas, the liver, lymphatics, and colon. Um, and um, that's sometimes we don't even know we have a cleaning issue with our body. Your body's also asked for Byron White's formula of cleaning and detox. This is a great time to tell you that everything listed here on the balancing item isn't something you need to go out and find, buy, remember to take, and then so on.
Mhm.
All of this stuff and all of these molecular structures and frequencies and cellular frequencies are saved in this computer. And that's how your body decided what it wanted. And so when I go to do your electronic patch, all these things, I imprint that data on your patch.
Mm.
And so I know that you're going to get it. I know that if your body's tired or you have a digestion issue and maybe won't digest it, get it to the cell to make it utilized. That's not the case. You have the venom from snail. Well, if you've gotten all those vaccines, that's one of their stabilizers.
Mhm.
Biofilm, that's vaccine. For antifungal, your body wants vitamin C. And you have a 10 out of a 10 bacterial toxins, and your emotional toxins are 7 out of 10. So all of this data would get utilized. Now, lung support, of course, that's the frequency of a healthy lung, right? We talked about that with Chinese medicine.
Mhm.
And all of these are actually pre-programmed herbals, remedies.
I will say lungs came up in mine as well. And during COVID, I
Mhm.
did have pneumonia and it was awful.
So this
And
is
so during the healing
from the
process, I
report.
was coughing up stuff like constantly. So I knew my body was healing just from just getting rid of the mucus that was in my lung. So, and then that was one of the things I was telling Dr. Heather, I'm like, I could breathe deeper. I could take a deep breath. That was a big sign that healing had taken place in my lungs. So you'll notice that as well. But
So
this is a great example of what these reports look like and what Dr. Heather
exactly.
does. So,
And so you get this report along with the video, but look at number 5 here. Remember we
Mm-hmm.
talked about that? That is part of what they make plastic with, one of the chemicals. Can you read what that says under there for me?
A synthetic chemical suspect to disrupt the endocrine system function.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And your endocrine system dysfunction is your hormones.
And I have none right now. They've taken them all away because cancer was driven by hormones.
And disrupted the normal
Yes.
process of that. And
Yes.
we
That
know
pill.
clinically PBB is a factor in explicitly the cancer you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't treat cancer.
I understand.
I just present your data.
They're telling me I need all this because I have the mutant gene PLB2, which is cancer of the breast, spleen, and ovaries. So now they're wanting me to have a hysterectomy because of that mutant gene.
You said breast, spleen.
No, breast, I'm sorry, pancreas. I'm sorry. Breast, pancreas, and um ovaries, ovarian. Mm-hmm. They
So
wanted me to have.
here's your pancreas from biocellular degeneration.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some degeneration is what your body's telling you on
It
this.
does.
You
I
also,
I just had a nuclear MRI 3 days ago because they were looking for some.
you have your reproductive organs that came up, and you had your spleen that came up.
Yeah, it's actually the pancreas. But they said everything had looked good. But
So, yeah.
so Dr. Heather, I have a question because I think this is going to be fascinating when you actually get the hair samples and then compare
Mm-hmm.
the reports because it's
Mm-hmm.
fascinating that you're doing this by how channeling the energy of Paula? Like, how is this even possible?
I was
How
wondering
it
the
could be so
same.
accurate?
Like I said, we don't know everything about life. We can't pretend to know at all.
No.
We
Yeah.
still don't know where we come from, supposedly, because energy is neither created nor destroyed. We know that. Newton's law. So that's
So you
kind of
set the
when
intention of just through her name and her birthday, you just kind of pulled through.
I
Yeah,
just set the intention.
gotcha.
And
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
so,
Awesome. It really is fascinating. I think every human should have this scan done just to
and I think
see.
getting it done quarterly, like I said, what could be better than giving your body its bioelectrical update every quarter? It makes sense, doesn't it?
We do it for our phones.
Thank you. And our
They
computers,
make
but
us do
not this computer.
it. Yeah.
Not this
So
computer.
that's a question. When I get my body to be in balance to where I'm really happy, with where I am, and I think we're always going to be exposed to toxins. But, how often do you have to? You're recommending a quarterly scan, or
If your life can sustain it, I'd say quarterly would be the
okay,
smartest.
okay,
But
Rachel, you have a question, it looks like?
Yes. I was just wondering if Heather has a definition of quantum science, because I get asked, I share everybody, I share with everybody about um, Dr. Heather's system right now. And yeah, we use the word quantum science to talk about these new technology. And I just have a hard time, defining exactly
Yeah,
what
dumb
is
it down for us, Dr. Heather, dumb it down for us.
Well, I'm not sure I actually can. I accept the unknown, but I've also been the person who's been at death's door, seeing all the things with the light and the angels. So my perception on these things is very different. But it comes down to quantum physics is the buzzword. And quantum physics is is the study of movement on an energetic level.
Hmm.
And there's a whole book I just read, written by an Indian man, about quantum physics and the bizarre physics of the brain of a scientist. And then he started talking about the actual health. And remember the picture of the cell I showed you in the beginning?
Mhm.
What else does that look like to you? I
The
was just
solar
The
asking
solar
my
system.
kids this.
solar
Doesn't
system.
it? I was just asking my kids this. It's
Mhm.
the solar system. And
Absolutely.
quantum physicists deal so much with what do you call them? The engineers that work outer space, spaceships, all that.
Astrophysicist.
Yes, astrophysicists. And then you look at that picture of our cells and it's tilted at an axis. The Earth is tilted at an axis too. And then you have the polarity of the positive and the negative of North Pole, South Pole. That's where you get into quantum physics. That's the best way. I have no definition. I just have pictures.
Well, my kind of vague idea of quantum physics is prior science, biology especially, has been limited to like time, space, time and distance. And quantum for me is, well, there's something beyond time and distance. And we don't, like you say, it's a complete mystery. We have no, I mean, maybe a few scientists on the planet do have some better understanding. Just knowing, I mean, it's there, it exists, and we still have so much to learn. But I'm very grateful for whatever angel divine intervention that got you into my life a few weeks ago, because this machine or this machine is pretty incredible. It's very incredible.
And thank you. I remind everybody this technology, this machine, this software is incredible. But imagine your body. It's just reading your body. Your body is incredible. The amount, the fact that your body knows what it wants, can respond to the data, and then utilizes it. And then when we retest you and we compare the apples to apples, it's done its magic. That's what astounds me every day is the power. And we're giving the power back to the computer, to the innate intelligence. The one thing that, again, we don't completely understand. The sperm and the egg met from a 5-minute activity, what have you. You have the egg and the sperm, And then you see this baby come out. And to take the power from any of that, and that's your body. That to me, that's magic.
Well, and going back to what you first said at towards the beginning, and described an MRI and how, you know, what the science is behind that, and that's taking a magnet that's stronger than the earth. That whole way you described that was a light bulb moment for me too, because you just take it for granted. You know, you have an MRI, your friend has, you know, and to describe it that way, you're like, oh yeah, okay. So that's a great. I just wanted to let you know that's a great example for folks to understand that stuff. Like that really made
Thank you.
a light bulb
I'm a
for me.
really visual person.
It was
I
good.
gotta dumb it down and break it down. But that was a quantum physicist that applied that principle and then started testing the quantum physics of your own magnet.
Yeah, that's what made sense to me as well, Becky. When you said it's the same MRI technology, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Well, and I just, and
Interesting.
again, not to not to placate, but just your even, you know, you got the egg and the sperm, and we all know the story, and they come together, and then, yeah, who can describe what happens there, right? Who can tell us exactly, you know, and it's some of the stuff that we just don't understand. And those are some really good, powerful examples. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I
I'm
will
glad it
say, you know,
resonated.
this process, yes, physically, I could tell there have been some transformations, changes with my physical body. You'll feel it, you'll see it. You know, you talked about your lymphatic system that is still in the process of draining. You know, the puffiness is going down, not fully gone, but it's the mental clarity. I don't know what's happening in the brain, but the focus, the clarity, it's like, oh wow, I'm like tapping into some unused potential, in the creativity that I'm getting now is just like, wow. Uh, Energetically, I am feeling like I have energy. I'm singing and dancing around the house. Like I'll catch myself, like, were you just singing? Like,
Are you doing? You got your pom poms out?
haven't yet. They're right over there. Haven't
All
gone
right.
that far yet, Becky.
All right.
But spiritually, that quantum energy, that connection with that field, that force, like you know, I hear that inner voice just come through louder, clearer. It's been an extremely spiritual experience for me as well. So I just invite you to explore this. It's extremely reasonable, and don't look back. Don't look back. Learn about where your body is. Get yourself to that potential, and you will be thanking us. I promise you that. But yes. So, are there any other questions or comments?
How do we explore it further?
Well, you can go to my website, drheathermarchand.com.
Okay.
And you can send me an email from there, or it's also on this document on here. And
Okay.
I will message you my address. When I get your hair sample, just make sure you put your name and your birth date on it. And then I'll call you, and then I'll set up our Zoom call with, you know, the screen sharing. And that's how you do it.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I put it in the chat. I put our website in the chat. We are offering a $50 off your initial scan. So, what is the normal price, Dr. Heather?
220 for new
220.
patient, yeah, and 180
220.
for revisit. And that
Right.
includes everything. I don't add on other stuff.
So
It's
do
just
you
that
need
price period.
new hair samples for each update?
No, I do not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. Didn't think so.
Why? Because
Yep.
you know, your
Yep.
DNA
Yep.
never changes.
Exactly. Once you've got our
Ah.
DNA, gotcha. Cool.
But
Yes,
Angel, you've asked me about that. Do I need to send you another hair sample? You've asked me. I'm like, if you want, but I've got your DNA now.
well, what was interesting is I had a different emotional response, that showed up as well. So I don't,
Mhm.
you never know, but I am sending Brad, so keep an eye out for that. I did pop the discount code in the chat as well, if you decide to do that and take advantage of the generous offer there. So thank you, Dr. Heather.
And if you have any additional questions, my email is on the flyer, or I'll type it in here. You can just email
People come
me.
to our
I
house
have
and
a
look at the rocks.
question.
Go ahead,
What
Rachel.
else
Have to do the hair.
It's a class 2 medical device. So does that mean it's only available to medical professionals
In the States.
in the States?
But I brought it out. Oh, wait,
Okay, so I've got that muted. Um, yes, so yeah, and you are just a pleasure to work with on top of it all. So it's just an extra bonus for everybody. You really will meet a new friend, and looking forward to coming to Paris. And
We're gonna have a glass of champagne.
yes,
Nice.
yes, we are.
When are you going there, Angel?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's do a girl trip.
And you're gonna come too, Paula.
Fantastic. Well, we will be following up just to keep in touch on your health and transformation journey. Make sure you have all the information you need, and I invite you to join our community. If you go to transformwithangel.com, you will see on the top there to join. We're putting together a community where we'll have ongoing events and conversations, not only about transforming your health, but transforming whatever it is you're going through in life. And chances are we're all going through something. So, as promised, as we wrap up here, I'm going to share with you a little bit about the 6 stages of transformation, something that was divinely inspired through me that has become the framework of my work in helping people make the changes they seek to make in their life, to transform. And the first stage is realizing. So as you're on this transformation journey, be it health, be it a relationship, career, spiritual transformation, whatever it is you're going through, it starts with the awareness. It starts with that intention of change. And it starts with the vision of who you want to be, knowing you want better for yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this webinar. So you have already embarked on the first stage of transformation by being here. You realize something's got to change. I'm going to open myself up to learning something new today. But that visualization is so key. So let's just take one moment. You can close your eyes if you want, but visualize what the next greatest version of you looks like. The healthiest version of you walking around. Are you smiling? What's your energy like? What's your posture like? How are you interacting with people? How are people responding to you? And when people ask you, wow, how did you do this? How did you go through this transformation? You look great. What is your message to them? Because, like Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. And the more vivid you can be with that vision, I invite you to have that visualization exercise every night before you go to bed and every morning when you wake up. That's the person you're aiming to be, because your mind doesn't know any different. It doesn't. And we can actually trick our minds into thinking we are this super healthy human being that we aim to be. The next stage of transformation is release. Anytime you go through transformation in life, you know something's got to be left behind. This is the hardest part of life, really. Sometimes the universe will just release things for you without your permission. But many times when you're taking change into your own hands, you have the power to let go of the stuff that's no longer serving you. So what was it in that vision you just had? What was it that is holding you back from being that today? It could be a lot of things. It could be self-doubt. It could be procrastination, could be perfectionism, could be resentment, as we heard earlier. It could be a toxic relationship that doesn't empower us. It keeps us, we're small and diminishes our personal power. So whatever it is that needs to be released, I invite you to engage in some practices. And just for the sake of ease today, I'm going to have you just imagine putting whatever that is, be it your sickness, the unhealthy cells. Imagine you just put it in a balloon and you just either watch that balloon float away until it just pops and disintegrates. Let it go and imagine that as often as you can. There's a lot of power in that type of visualization. The next stage of transformation, and these are not linear, this is a spiral that we go through up and down, is rebound. So especially when you're going through a protocol like this, like what Dr. Heather's been sharing with us today, it's really important that you take self-care into your hands. Some things that she mentioned was the quality of your water being directly related to the quality of your health, having your medical team set up so that you know who to call when you are, depending on your situation, your health needs. It's also, what is your go-to pastime? I call it the people, the places, the practices, and the playtime. So who are the people? Who are the places? Where are the places that you like to go? Do you like to walk in nature? This is part of the rejuvenation, the rebalancing that takes place during this protocol, but also in life anytime you're going through something. What are the practices? Do you meditate? Do you yoga? Take hot baths? Play with your dog? Play with your kids? Like what helps you feel better? Because self-care, especially in this crazy, chaotic world we're living in, you've got to have have one in your back pocket at all times because it's so easy to be triggered and spiral through this transformation so easily these days. So have a self-care plan in your pocket at all times. The next stage of transformation is reinvent. So once you are out of that surviving space that Dr. Heather was mentioning, and then she was moving into thriving, that is the part where you are really reinventing yourself and you're stepping into this new version of you, that vision you had in the realized stage. You're practicing new behaviors. You're acting a little different, singing, dancing, whatever it may be, but it's like, wow, I'm feeling different, acting different. That's the reinventing stage, and it's about believing in yourself. And it's about believing what could be possible for you. Good health is possible for you. The next stage is the resurrect stage, because when you are reinventing yourself intentionally every day and becoming that next greatest version of you, before you know it, you're living it. And you have risen above the obstacles, the challenges that you're faced with. And the way to stay there, because we all want to stay in this place as long as possible, is what I use is an affirmation and affirming, really feeling the truth of these words. I'll share mine. Apparently my lighting is going to be going out here any minute. Or I don't know, some divine entity is joining us. But my affirmation, I'll share this with you, and I would love to share, in chat, if you have one that comes through to you, share it. We'd all love to have some shared wisdom in this space. But mine is that I wake up every day saying, I am the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest version of my truest self, exploring the infinite possibilities and unlimited potential of my divine nature. And it's interesting because after saying that every day for years, people like Dr. Heather show up. It's really interesting to see what shows up in your life once you affirm these things to be true. The final stage of transformation is to respond. I mean, what's the point of going through all this if you can't help somebody else, right? and pay it forward. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. Both Dr. Heather and myself, as I'm embarking on this journey, I want to be able to help people and share what's working, share my story. So share your story, because you never know who it's going to resonate with and who you're going to inspire with it. That's why you're going through these things to begin with, many times, is to help others. And so I want to congratulate you again for being here. It's been wonderful spending time with all you ladies and getting to know you. Thank you for being open and sharing your stories today. Before I close up, I just want to mention again, go to Dr. Heather Marchand for more information. You can go to transformwithangel.com if you want more information about the 6 Stages of Transformation. I have a free ebook you can download there. You can join the community. I do numerology, so the path of remembering, if you're interested about your own personal soul's blueprint here, sign up for that, or the path of becoming, which is a 8-week coaching course, just to give you a little bit about what I do. Of course, I have online courses in the podcast. I hope you listen and tune into at some point. So as we wrap up our webinar, I want to thank you again, truly, for being open, being curious, and willing to explore what's possible when we merge science, energy, and consciousness. And you saw the power of intention earlier today. So you've just taken a powerful step towards leveling up your health and awakening the body's natural intelligence to heal. Remember, transformation isn't a one-time event. It's constant. It's an evolution, and we're going through it at all times. This is the cycle of life. That's why we're here.
Yep.
So we'll be following up with you to support your next steps. And your journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. We look forward to staying in touch. And remember, your health is your power, your energy is your frequency, and your frequency determines your future. So, Dr. Heather, I'm going to let you wrap it up with some final words of wisdom here as we say our final goodbyes.
I just say, live your best life. Live your best life. What you put out there is what you receive. That's all I have to say.
Thank you both.
Yeah. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Be safe, everyone.
Bye. Thank you
You
so
too.
much.
Thank you.